All right, 10:01. Let's go ahead and get started. Arm circles. I'm sorry, neck circles. It's already been a morning. I'm going to do everything kneeling for you at home. You can do it standing. You can join me in a low kneeling position or a high kneel or a half kneel. It's up to you. 1 minute, you know what to do. Chin to chest, ear to shoulder, chin to sky, ear to opposite shoulder, chin to chest. Take it back the other way. Finishing up that neck circle, let's get into our first arm circle. Right hand starts. I'll keep my full kneel. I'm just going to move so I can see the clock. Taking the arm back into as much flexion as we can. Internally rotating through the shoulder joint, taking it all the way back until we end up back in our pocket. And then once we're there, taking it back, finding that sticking point, externally rotating through the shoulder joint and taking it all the way back. Let's continue through here. Hope you guys are having a good Tuesday morning so far. Let's get one more. We got time for it. Switching sides, left hand goes back. Same idea. Finding that sticking point, internally rotating, and then continuing around. You can see that I'm holding on to 2 lacrosse balls. For me, it's going to help with generating some tension as we get into arm spirals. Totally unnecessary for you to do so at home. But the CARs that we do right now, these controlled articulated rotations that we do, they're relatively loose. Right? If you were to try to really lock your whole body in position, generate tension into your abs, into your body, having an object like this to bear down upon creates a much different sensation than just going loosey-goosey. Let's go ahead and wrap up this arm circle. We're going to get into our leg circles. I'm going to do so in the quadruped position. However, you can do so standing. If you're doing standing, find something that will not move so that you can hold on. If you're here in the quadruped position with me, heel goes to sky. It externally rotates, keeping the height. Knee comes to elbow, and we take it back down. If you're standing, it's knee to chest, knee out wide, heel to sky. So we're doing reverse in the quadruped position. We're going through extension first, external rotation second, and then flexion third. You get a couple more here. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Pay attention to how much the rest of your body is moving, how much you're getting strictly through your head. Want to make sure that your ribs aren't moving. You're not getting too much movement in your pelvis. A little bit's okay. Really trying to focus on just that hip, getting that rotation. One more here for me. Cool, let's get into our arm spirals. I'm gonna do one at a time, okay? So we've done alternating, right? We're just gonna focus on one arm at a time, utilizing this object to create a little bit of tension and keep as straight a line as possible. Internal and external. Now I want this movement to start at my shoulder joint, not at my wrist joint. So right now I'm able to twist this doorknob, right, without getting any movement here. I'm gonna wanna initiate the movement through my shoulder joint, let my ribs move, and then get a little bit more through my elbow, right? Initiating the movement at my shoulder joint, letting my ribs move, and then getting the rest at my elbow. So I try to keep this straight line the whole time. Okay, don't let the wrist initiate the movement. Golfers, tennis players, baseball players, right? This is a primary issue where the wrist drags the shoulder with the movement and ends up causing lateral or medial epicondylitis, right? Inside or outside elbow pain, right? You're letting your ancillary movers, right? In this case, forearm flexors, extenders, dictate your shoulder movement. All right, so we're going to try to regain a lot of that today. We're going to actually get into some scapular push-ups as well. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Initiate the movement. Following through. Initiating the movement. Following through. Same's true with hip stuff, right? Imagine you're kicking a ball, right? You're not just flicking your ankle, right? You're loading your hip, right? Generating force through your entire leg. Your foot's just flying with it, right? It's a little bit easier to visualize that, right? But we're also stuck here, right, in our movements. Harder to get this control. Take your time with these shoulder spirals and focus on where the movement is starting and how you're letting that movement finish, right? Notice where the control is coming from and where you tend to initiate the movement. A couple more. Cool. Let's go ahead and get into our open book position. Because I discovered this camera angle, I'm going to move it for you. Going to get into our bretzel. I'm going to start cradle position on my right side, right hand's on the ground. Left hand is going to reach for my right foot. Right hand's going to reach for my left knee. And I'm going to try to open up. Now you can knock out some reps here, right? Open it up, taking your time. For me, I'm just going to try to hold these positions. Be here for 90 seconds. Slowly but surely, I feel my left shoulder here getting closer and closer to the ground, maintaining connection with the ground, my left knee. Gently come out of that and let's switch sides. Oh yeah. Left hand, grabbing that top right knee. Right hand, grabbing the bottom left foot. Pulling open. Oh yeah. Another 45 seconds here. Again, trying to get this top shoulder down to the ground. Three, two, one. Come out of that slowly. We're going to get into some cat-cow or cat-camel. We're going to get into a lot of dynamic neuromuscular stability, and we're going to do some scapular push-ups as well. I'm going to go ahead and move that camera up. If you've ever taken a yoga class, you know cat-cow. Sometimes it's called cat-camel. I'm sure there's a difference. I don't care. Cat-cow. Now, in yoga, you're taught a little bit different than I'm going to teach you now. So, as we've done with our J curls before, right, as we try to articulate our vertebrae, right, through complete flexion, right, trying to round our back, starting from our head, going all the way down, we do our cat-cow a little bit differently, okay? So what I mean by that is instead of trying to get the most amount of flexion possible, we're going to try to create opposition in our pelvis, our ribs, and in our skull. So in yoga, you're taught cat-cow like this. Everything flexes, everything extends, right? Everything flexes, everything extends. We're going to make one slight difference. As we get into flexion of our thoracic and lumbar vertebrae, we're actually going to extend through our neck. And then as we do the opposite, and we begin to extend through our lumbar vertebrae, our thoracic vertebrae, we're going to flex at the cervical vertebrae, okay? So what we're doing is working oppositional tilts, okay? Three big bony landmarks in our body, our pelvis, our rib cage, and our skull, okay? You might know anterior and posterior tilt of the pelvis, okay? Don't think I'm blowing anybody's mind with that yet, right? Anterior, you imagine your pelvis is a bowl of water, right? As you anteriorly tilt, the bowl of water starts to fall forward. At your rib cage, you're getting an opposite tilt. You're getting a posterior tilt. So now if the bowl of water was here, the water would be falling back. Does that make sense? The answer should be yes. So if we got an anterior tilt here, and a posterior tilt here, for one more piece of opposition, we should have an anterior tilt at our skull, right? Pretty simple stuff. Water forward, water back, water forward. This keeps me upright. Otherwise, if all of the water was going forward, I would fall. Does that make sense? It should, right? Same thing would happen if all of the water was going back, right? So posterior tilt here. You can see that naturally my ribs end up coming down into an anterior tilt, but let's say they didn't. Now everything else going backwards, and I begin to fall back, okay? So in our cat and camel, we're gonna try to articulate anterior, posterior, anterior tilts, posterior, anterior, and posterior tilts, okay? I know it's a little bit confusing because we've been taught the opposite for so long, but all you have to think is when you're going through your cat camel, do the opposite of what you've been taught, right? So as you arch your lower back, right, your head goes down like you're looking in between your legs. As you round your back, your head goes up. And now we're working in opposition and creating bony landmark mobility. Probably feels a little different. We're gonna do this for a minute, and I'm already starting. You're gonna notice your shoulders moving a little bit as you arch your back. Your shoulders probably retract. As you round your back, your shoulders probably protract and push the ground away. So as I arch, I end up moving closer to the ground. As I round, I move further away from the ground. Also, creating opposition in my body. Now, we've done some intervertebral articulation before. We're not really focusing on that. Just the big landmarks, trying to create opposition. Now at home, you might be thinking this just isn't clicking, and that's okay. You're wired to do what we're not doing right now. Couple more reps. Go ahead and shake it out. So at home, if you didn't get it, it's okay. Rewatch this video when you get a chance, and you'll see the difference in the way that my spine is tilted. We call these cogs, right? Like cogs in a clock, right? Moving in opposition to allow for the motion of the joints, right? If everything moves together, you just end up falling, okay? One of the things that I touched upon was how my shoulders were protracting and retracting during that movement. I can see there's a lot of glare, so I'm going to go ahead and shut the door. Guard your ears. It is noisy. Sweet. So we're going to focus primarily on our shoulders now, right? Our shoulder, our scapula. So these are called scapular push-ups. Elbows stay straight the entire time. I'm pushing the ground away and sinking towards the ground. Effectively, I'm doing this, right? But in a closed chain as opposed to this open chain, right? Hands on the ground, closes the chain, shoulders down, sinking the shoulder blades forward, pushing away. Now, here I want to make sure I'm not leading with my head, right? And I have a neutral spine the entire time. Really, I'm just trying to squeeze my shoulder blades together and then push my shoulder blades away. Now, one more cue. We're going to do this in 30 seconds. As I squeeze together, I'm also thinking about internally rotating my hands. As I push my shoulders apart, I'm thinking about externally rotating. So I get this corkscrew action, right? Just like the spiral, right? Reaching closer to the ground, pushing the ground further away. reaching closer, pushing away, right? So this is going to give me this nice scapulohumeral rhythm, right? Shoulder blade and shoulder joint, shoulder blade, right? Working together. That will give me the shoulder stability I'm looking for. Now, I want you to pay attention to what your elbows are doing. You can go ahead and join me now. We do this for about 90 seconds. No bend in the elbows. Elbows never bend. Now, I know I touched upon the corkscrewing action when we were doing our shoulder spirals, about making sure that the shoulder was leading the action. It's going to be a little bit harder as we get this scapular movement. That's okay. Keep a neutral spine. This should not bother your back or your neck at all. Chin is tucked. My eyes are looking straight down, so I'm not cranking on my neck, but I'm also not leading with my nose. Chin's tucked, neck is long, squeezing the shoulder blades, separating the shoulder blades, corkscrewing the ground away. This is kind of fatiguing. If I wanted even more of a challenge, I'd get into a push-up position. I don't really need that right now. My arms are sore from yesterday's workout. Not the one you monsters did. My own little baby workout. Let's get 2 more reps here. We're going to come down onto our elbows. So we talked about doing some dynamic neuromuscular stabilization. Some of the stuff that I've talked about in the past couple of weeks. Understanding how our body creates intra-abdominal pressure, right, in order to mobilize our joints, right, from time that we were children, watching Ivy do this, to now. We tend to lose the stability, right, and we try to search for it elsewhere. So creating a diamond with your hand, diamond goes right down in front of you. Shoulders go back, hips go tucked, so no arching or twerking your booty, okay? Hips go tucked, soft brace into your belly. We're just going to do our breath work. We're going to do it for 90 seconds. Chin's down, right? Your whole goal is to imagine you are pushing the ground away with your belly button and your groin. So every time you inhale, right, the ground moves further away from you. Every time you exhale, you melt closer to the ground. Eyes on me if they're not already. I just want you to look at where my shirt meets my belt, right? As I inhale, right, you can see my hips come off the ground a little bit. As I exhale, I sink closer to the ground. That is going to be your whole goal. I'm going to keep my head down. I'm not going to talk. We got 90 seconds just focusing on this breath work. Let's get to it. Head goes down, 90 seconds. Keep going. I guess I am going to talk. Make sure you're not shrugging your shoulders. Put your brain into your groin, right? Visualize the ground moving away. Every time you breathe, visualize where the air is going. With every breath, your belly button to groin should be pushing the ground further away. If you notice your shoulders start to shrug, undo it. Drive your shoulders down towards your pockets. Another 45 seconds. Couple more breaths. Keep your head down, keep breathing. Don't look at me. I want you to anchor your pointer finger, your index finger into the ground. I want you to anchor the medial epicondyle of your elbow, so the inner part of your elbow. I feel like the bottom of your elbow right now onto the ground. So index finger and elbow in the ground. Shoulders, reverse a shrug. Okay, so you're drawing your shoulder joint down to your hip. And from there, I want you to breathe into your belly. Hold that breath, push the ground away, and extend through your upper spine. If you're looking at me, this is what it looks like. Chin is still long, so I'm not looking up. I'm looking right in front of me. I'm separating my shoulder blades. I'm bracing at my core. I'm talking to you. I can probably breathe in this position, but I still have to keep a brace. This is not an easy position to hold. I'm trying to actively get more and more thoracic extension as I go until I can no longer brace, and then you come down and rest. Let's do that again. Here are the cues. Anchor your index finger, your first metacarpal, right? The ball of your first finger, okay? Anchor your elbows. Draw your shoulders down. Breathe into your belly. Push the ground away, come up. And it's like you're separating the ground. You're pushing the ground away, pushing your shoulder blades apart. Soft tuck of the hips, bracing of the belly, stabilizing your lower abdominals, mobilizing your upper thoracic vertebrae. No tension in the neck, no tension in the face, no tension in the lower back. Bracing. There should be tension in your abs. I'm shaking in my shoulder blades, and I'm starting to lose it, so I'm going to come back down. We're going to do that 3 more times. I'm going to give you the cues every time. Anchor your index finger. Anchor your elbows. Drive your shoulders down. Brace and tuck your hips. Breathe into your belly, push the ground away. So I can take a few breaths here. Breathing behind the shield, right, of that brace, of that intra-abdominal pressure. My focus is on finding rest when I really start to get the shakes, which is right now. So I need 2 more. I'm going to reset a little bit. Hands anchor, elbows anchor, shoulders draw down to my pockets, tucking the hips, bracing, breathing, pushing the ground away. And I'm taking another break. 1 more time for me. Anchoring the hand, anchoring the elbows, shoulders going down. Tuck, brace, breathe, and push. Okay, and this pushing action is a lot different than just lifting your head up and pulling back, right? Everything we've talked about so far has been about how we initiate our movements. And if you just yank your head back, your shoulders aren't helping to stabilize you. This is how you learned to stabilize your upper body before you began to crawl. It wasn't just lifting your head up. You didn't have the strength or neurological control to do so. You're still there. Even though I'm talking, you're still there. You pushed yourself away. You used the ground as a fixed point to then learn how to extend your spine. And we're going to get into an upward dog right about now. Go ahead and come down. So my shoulders are on fire. I felt my upper thoracic vertebrae. So these vertebrae right around my, my shoulder blades begin to extend and extend more. What you didn't see was this, right? So we do a lot of upward dog in our, for our warm-up. We do a world's greatest stretch inchworm. You're used to it if you've taken our classes already, which all of you have, right? That is all progressive based upon these movements, right? Upward dog isn't just throwing your spine back. That's a ton of lumbar compression, ton of sacroiliac joint compression, right? For us in our upward facing dog, I want you to not think about just throwing yourself back, but rather pulling yourself forward, okay? So we're gonna get our hands not so far back, not at our pockets, but right around here at our chest, right? My hands down, my thumbs might be where my clavicle is, somewhere between my chin and my chest, okay? Shoulders are gonna go back, right? And instead of pushing back, I'm gonna try to pull myself into a better part of extension. And if I can do this, I should feel more and more thoracic extension than lumbar extension. This is a hard position to hold. And it's hard because I pulled myself into that position instead of just driving back, okay? Driving back directly initiates lower back compression, right? I'm just pushing back. None of this stuff is moving. I want to think like I'm a fruit roll-up. I'm peeling away from the ground. So anchor your hands, little tucking your hips can go well, elbows go down, shoulders go down. Imagine you are pulling yourself up and away, and eventually, as your elbows extend, you end up in this downward facing dog position. We're not looking up, we're not trying to get all that extension. Trying to keep our chin tucked and our neck long. You should feel your core. If your hips are tucked, your lower back shouldn't be on that much, okay? And maybe that means, I'm gonna reset, if you are feeling lower back, maybe that means you just work with your elbows down, okay? And this would go for class too. If we get into upward facing dog, you can go elbows down, bam. And that's a really nice feeling. And the whole time I'm thinking, pulling away from the ground, not just pushing back. Does this make sense at home? I'm gonna give you a minute to try it out. You can have your eyes on me if you want. I'm gonna go elbows for 2 reps. And everything is about how you feel the movement initiate. Focus on your lats. Focus on your shoulder blades. Focus on that peeling sensation. Now I'm going to go hands down. Same idea. Hips are tucking, shoulders back, elbows back, peeling myself up and away. Once I've initiated that movement, then I can get into my push. So we do J curls, and we're going to revisit J curls today for fun. Why not? The whole idea is rounding into that position, starting one vertebrae at a time, right? This is the exact same idea for our upward facing dog. One vertebrae at a time, peeling off of the ground, feeling the movement initiate from your shoulder blades and finish in your lumbar. You should feel like your back is getting more and more round through extension as opposed to just coming up. I hope this is making sense for you at home. I'm gonna do one more rep here, and then we're gonna get into our J curl. Shoulders back, peeling up. And bring it back down. Cool. My back feels pretty damn awesome right now. But if I was just jamming into a an upward facing dog, or jamming my neck to try to lead from my 2 very sensitive, very mobile joints, right? I'd probably feel awful. So if you feel awful, you're doing it wrong. Can't wait till we open up again so we can help you out in person. But with this sensation of peeling away from the ground, right? Getting that intervertebral articulation, right? That upward facing dog moves away from your lower back and into your thoracic spine. Make sense? Cool. Let's get into our J curl. Now you can do this with weight, you can do this standing, you can do this without weight. I'm going to do it without weight. I'm not going to be, I said standing on an object. I'm not going to be on an object to start. But if you are familiar with this, if you like this exercise, you can grab some hand weights. Not necessary. I'm not going to do any of it with weight today. Standing away, you could be on an object to try to lay down. We're going to lead through complete spinal flexion. Starting at the chin, chin stays tucked, rounding down. Feel your spine get longer. Nice and slowly. Soft bend in the knees is okay. You can get past your toes, go for it. You can get your head in between your knees, go for it. And then come back up in the exact opposite fashion. Man, this stuff is making me sweat. Cool, I've been here before, so I'm not going to explain it the way that I was explaining that stuff. Again, if you want to elevate onto an object, whoa, you want to elevate onto an object, you can. If you want to hold weight, you can, right? J curls, if you were a gymnast, meant to be done with weight. For us, hands clasped in front of you or behind you. Let's go. Coming back up, one vertebrae at a time. Cool. And I'm going to give you one variation of this. We're going to do 3 more, okay? And I'm going to give you an option to do unilateral. So what I'm going to do is stagger my stance, right? Give myself a kickstand. So my right leg and my right side is going to be the focus of this flexion, and then on the other side, I'll do this way, right? So I want you to try the same thing at home. Let's see how long it takes us. 3, 2, 1, starting. See if this last one 30 seconds. See if you notice a difference on your ability to flex when you take the stretch out of one leg. And I know immediately I'm getting way lower by keeping this left heel off the ground. Yeah, I'm touching my nose to my knee. Coming back up. That was 33 seconds. We're going to do the other side. I'm switching. My feet are still together. All I'm doing is lifting my heel. Okay, feet are still together, lifting the heel. 3, 2, 1. Let's see how we go here. Going back up for me. Ooh, 31 seconds. You do one more. Now, if you did what I just did, switched legs, you probably noticed a difference, not only in your ability to get further down on both legs, but also, for me, my right leg stiff as a board the whole time, my nose was able to touch. My left leg, stiff as a board the whole time, couldn't get my nose there. So I know that there's some kind of imbalance that I might want to work on if I was so inclined. Let's do both at the same time one more time. 3, 2, 1, let's take our time. Oh yeah, 30 seconds, not bad. So 2.5 minutes doing 5 reps. It's pretty crazy. I'm gonna have a sip of water. Grab a towel. Okay, we're gonna get back into our quadruped position. We're gonna do some pelvic floor planks, and we're gonna get into some shoulder taps. Now, not in the same way as we've done with our people makers where we're going fast. We're gonna get shoulder taps and holds. So remember, pelvic floor plank. Knees are under hips, shoulders pushed away from the ground, hands are right underneath the shoulders. Right, so I've got this nice stiff arm. What I'm gonna do without moving my body, reach forward, pull my body forward, making sure I'm not driving my hips down, just tucking, getting that round spine, okay? Arms are still stiff, I'm still pushing the ground away. I'm gonna draw my ankles back, lift my knees off the ground and hold. Three, 2, 1, knees come down. You can see the difference with knees underneath hips, right? Quadruped position here. Let me turn a little bit just so you can see the different angle, right? So this would be a stiff quadruped position, right? Most of the load is coming from right here. By pushing the ground away, stiff arm, crawling my hands forward, and pulling myself into this more anteriorly loaded position and tucking my hips, right? My shoulders trying to drive over my wrists, and then coming up here, which I hope you're with me, right? You can see how much different the requirement for stability is in my low abdominals. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees come down, pushing back, crawling back. Cool. So this is a pretty easy position. I could be here all day. Okay, I'm gonna get back over my mat. We're gonna do that 3 more times. So, unloaded position, making sure you're not shrugging, making sure you're not sinking towards the ground. So shoulders go back, actively pushing the ground away. Okay, straight arms, walk your hand out, pull yourself forward into a forward shoulder position, meaning your shoulders are trying to get over your fingers. Tuck your hips so that your lower back is not caving into the ground. Knees come up a centimeter. We hold for 10 seconds. Make sure you're pushing the ground away, not sinking in. Three, 2, 1. Knees down, hips back, walk it back. So we're walking back just to reset every single time. Okay, trying to own a stable, solid position with every good rep. Shoulders away from the ears, chest push away from the ground, stiff arm, reaches forward, pulls into that forward shoulder lean position. Hips go tucked, knees come up. We hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees down, walk it back. 1 more rep, resetting the shoulder joint, shoulder blade, stiff arm, walks forward, pulls forward, making sure we're pushing the ground away. Try to get that corkscrew of those shoulders. Hips tucked, knees up. We hold for 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back down. Awesome. Oh man, my shoulders are on fire. I'm assuming yours are as well. So now we're going to get oppositional shoulder taps and reaches, and we're going to do that with an elevated foot as well. So in a quadruped position, right, this would go here, and this would go here, right? Pretty simple stuff. However, we're gonna have to hold this beast position, right? So our knees are gonna come off the ground, right? And we're gonna hold and hold. Pretty simple. So that might be challenging in and of itself. Good cue for you at home. Got a little bit of time. Good cue for you at home. Hands closer together than your feet. Imagine creating a tripod, okay? Where your thumbs are touching and your legs are a little bit wider than your hips, okay? So it would look more like this, okay? This is gonna be a more ideal position for you to stabilize and hold, okay? Now, what we're gonna also try to do is we lift our left hand up, we're gonna try to lift our right foot up. So we're only gonna have contralateral stability. This is gonna be super challenging if you do it right. It's gonna be super challenging if you do it wrong too. So hopefully you're doing it right and feeling the right things. So I'm gonna create that tripod. Thumbs are touching. We're just gonna do shoulder touches first, okay? I'm gonna lift my legs off the ground, boom, and then lift my left hand and my right shoulder and hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down, knees come down. Not too bad. Let's do the same thing on the left side. Shoulders back, still having that tripod, knees come up, lift and hold. 4, 3, 2, 1, bring it down. Cool, not so bad. Let's do it again. Ready, knees up, left hand up. 4, 3, 2, 1, hand down, switch hands. 4, 3, 2, 1, bring it down. Cool. 2 full reps done. We're gonna do one more with just our hands. Ready, set, knees up, left hand holds. 4, 3, 2, 1, switch sides, right hand holds. 4, 3, 2, 1, bring it down, knees down. Whew. Little rest. If you don't need it, you're stronger than me. Now we're gonna try to lift our left hand to lift our right leg. I might eat it, I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty fatigued from all this stuff that we've been doing already. So if I eat it, and so do you, good. If I eat it and you don't, you're stronger, you can teach the next class. Hands go together. Knees are going a little bit wider. So I'm using my mat as a point of reference. My feet on the outside and my hands are right in the center, okay? I'm gonna lift my left hand off the ground and my right leg off the ground with both knees up. Ready? Thumbs touching, knees come up, left hand reaches, right leg reaches. 3, 2, 1, both limbs find the ground, knees find the ground. Kind of challenging. To be honest, I'm gonna need to open up my hands a little bit more to get that stability. So, knees come up, right hand comes up, left leg comes up. Whoa! 4, 3, 2, 1, hand comes down, knees come down. Let's do that 2 more times, same way that we did it last time. We're gonna go right to left, back to back, little break in between. Last 2 reps and we are done. Ready? Knees up, left hand, right foot. 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch sides. Right hand, left foot. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Knees down. How'd you do? Metaphorical question. If you ate it, let me know. Send me a text later. Let's do it one more time. Shoulders down. Push the ground away. Knees up. Right hand, left leg. 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch sides. Right hand, left leg. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go again. Switch. 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch. 4, 3, 2. We're going again. Switch. 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch. 4, 3, 2, 1. You're done. Holy abs. Holy shoulders. Whew. So today we had a bigger emphasis on spine mobility, shoulder stability, and core stability. Let me know how you did at home. Thank you guys very much. Have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday. Brittany and I will see you tomorrow for more strength conditioning. Adios.